Hey everyone, this is Alaska from Call Out Culture. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. And if you are enjoying the podcast and you feel inspired to start your own, let me tell you about the system that we use. It is called Anchor. Best things about Anchor, it's free. There's tools that allow you to create and record and edit your podcast right from your phone and your computer. You can even add a song from Spotify directly into your episodes. The possibilities are endless of what you could create, whether it's like music analysis or your own radio show or something that the world's never heard before. I don't know what that is. You figure that out. Not my job, yours. Anchor is going to distribute the podcast for you so it'll be heard on Spotify, Apple, and all the other podcast you can use. Like all you do is you upload your podcast and boom, it appears in the other feeds. You can also make money through advertisements like this, or you can also set up like your own sort of Patreon fan support thing. There's no minimum listenership, and everything you need to make your podcast is in one place. So if you want to do a podcast, you want to be like us here at Call Out Culture, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started.
Welcome to Call Out Culture Podcast with Alaska, Curly Castro, and Zilla Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to the motherfucking Cargo Cults Podcast. Year-end spectacular Festivus celebration. Favorite albums. All sorts of good shit happening here.
Good shit.
My name is Alaska. I am here with my friend Zilla Rocca.
Yes, I'm here.
And we are about to fucking get deep into it. Curly Castro is unavailable tonight, but he is here in spirit, shablowing all over the place.
Shableasel.
But I think we got a pretty special episode for the kids tonight. What do you think, Z?
I think I like how you said men and women and kids because it's like overwhelmingly just dudes listening to the show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's great. There's no kids. Yeah. Probably
they're man children. So there's
well, it takes one to know one. So I'm in.
For real, yeah.
I'm
you don't become that obsessed with rap without being a man child.
True. Yes. That's quite okay. But shouts to all of our followers and listeners and everybody checking in and talking with us on the tweets. I haven't checked if we had any iTunes updated reviews, which are always.
We do actually. I checked it the other day. We got a couple.
Let's do it.
I mean, let's read some of these bad boys off.
Let's do it.
I think we got like 2 more since the last one.
All right, shouts to people leaving new reviews. I like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're still at 71 ratings. And then no, I don't want to open iTunes.
Oh my god!
Fucking comments. We got a star rating of 4.9 with 71 ratings, which I think is pretty good.
Woo.
Yeah, man.
I'll take that.
People are liking the kids. So hold on. Why is this doing it that way? Why do I got to open in iTunes? I don't want to fucking open in iTunes. I just want to read the goddamn comments. I hate when Apple starts acting weird about shit.
What on the podcast thing?
Yeah, on the podcast app. I just want to check our fucking reviews.
Yeah,
I gotta open up iTunes.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You folks.
Ever since Steve Jobs died, man.
He didn't die.
Since the face been revealed, game got real. All right. Well, the ones I could see anyway. We got 2 new ones. We read this one, right? The best rap podcast in the game. Listen to a good amount of rap podcasts and listen to best.
Yes.
They're the only 2. They're one of 2 I never skip an episode of.
Ooh.
I think the main reason it's the best is because they're all rappers themselves.
Yep.
The perspective is beyond what a fan would ask and talk about.
Goddamn
Although, of course,
right.
they're rap fans. We read that one, right?
No, that's a great one. Who wrote that?
It's Jersey Lightning.
Shouts to Jersey Lightning. One of the good friends of the show. Thanks, Jersey Lightning.
You know what I mean? And then we got one from Sabir, 2007. And he said,
one of the worst years in rap. One of the worst years in rap, but shouts to him anyway.
Yeah, but Sabir's bringing it back. He's rebranding it. He just discovered it and digging it. I'm playing catch up. Glad I found this podcast. I love hearing indie label talk of the 90s and early 2000s.
Bang. Yeah, and shouts to Dan O for a few Music Empire saying our episode with Sean from the questions is one of the best interview / guest pods of the year because Sean quote didn't know what he was getting himself into.
Yeah, he really did not.
What a great guy. I love Sean.
He really
bring him back.
He's fantastic.
Next time we'll be like, hey man, why don't you come on? We're gonna talk about like Jay-Z and Rakim, and then we just spend time shitting on like Magna Carta Holy Grail. And he's like, whoa. Or like
just
the Master.
Find out the things that he loves.
Right. And I'm like, did you ever hear fucking The Master by Rakim? It's a disgrace, bro. How do you rock this man?
It's horrible. I heard he owes child support.
Shouts to Rakim. Dap me up in a hallway in Philly when we opened for him. And then probably it was one of the best Philly shows ever. But his jacket was so big, like all of his clothes were so big still. And he weighs like 148 pounds. But it didn't matter that he was wearing like 4X because he just had like the glow about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a god.
All time, like literally. Yeah. So and even though Castro couldn't make it, Castro is doing his thing. We've all been, passing the ball around, doing 2-on-2 last few weeks. It's me and Alaska again, hanging out. And then so we got a 2-part piece tonight.
Well, hold on. Speaking of Castro, we got one more review.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is from Yup 9999, and this is dedicated specifically to Castro.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
Need Little Robert Hutton on vinyl. Shabam, shablow.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
This is
straightforward, to the point, introspective.
Demanding. Also demanding.
Runs the gamut, man. It's like I laughed, I cried.
Yo, my cat just took the fucking most rank shit down here where I record. And I got to burn a Christmas velvet sandalwood and vanilla candle ASAP. Man. Oh, my God.
That's
all right,
awful, man.
Can we just pause it? I just got to run and go get a light. Dude, it is ghastly down here. All right. Boom. We're back.
Boom.
It brought to you by Fresh Step Kitty Litter. Holy shit. It doesn't work well. I can attest to it when you're sitting 5 feet away in a South Philly basement.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is why we got to get a new
Fresh
house.
Step.
Oh, it's no good. It's quite fresh, but the smell remains.
You got to get those crystals, bro.
Whatever we get at Target, I mean, that's the move. It's not very good.
No, that's my whole house is covered with weed pads because we got like 9 dogs.
You and the dogs. I gotta come through.
We lost 1. We're down to 2 now.
Jesus.
Yeah. Bessie passed away. 15 years, man.
Oh, what a run. What a run.
Yeah, she had a good run.
Fresh off the Hangar 18 tour, you got the dog. Man, he did it.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, she was a good dog.
Nice. So let's do our show now.
So we're gonna break this into a 2-parter tonight. It's gonna be 1 episode, but there's two components.
Doubleheader.
The first one is we're gonna talk about some of our favorite albums that fall outside of the albums that everybody talks about.
Right.
The albums that we talk about, that we've talked about a lot on our podcast. Like so nobody from our crew is gonna be mentioned.
It's the hardest part, I'll be honest.
Yeah, as dope as everybody's album was, we're not going to talk about that because we talked about it. We just want to shine some light on people that we think did really good projects this year that we don't necessarily hear a lot of people talking about.
Yeah, and I think our picks are people that have never even been on the show.
No,
real outsiders. They are not in the car culture community, extended cinematic universe. They're their own people.
Yeah. These are real like standalone films.
All right, you want to go first?
You want to go first? Or you want me to?
All right,
since Castro's not here, we could probably even like go a little deeper in our bench.
Yeah. All right, so real quick, I want to say, for honorable mentions, I'll open with that in honor of Castro. Yeah. My 15 honorable mentions are clearly I've talked about on the show a million times. Andrew, Pop 1967 record. I mean, I've really been cheerleading this record. That album, which came out on Darko's label, You Don't Deserve His Beautiful Art, put he and I in a place to have a joint album together, which is coming out next year, and then his solo album, which we're going to be shooting for like February 2022. So he and I just hung out and had tacos and churros, mapped out a lot of the stuff we want to do. And it all stems from that record. Like if I didn't like that album, I wouldn't really spend all this time, hanging with them and making shit together. So shouts to that album.
When the days look blue and I'm tangled up in Drew, I gotta give myself a break, and player, you should too. It ain't no 4, 5, 6. Sometimes it's 1, 2, 3. Some days you're shooting bricks, just waiting on that 3. Just waiting on that switch. Just waiting on that switch. And then it don't come quick. Man, ain't that some shit? Yes it is, yes it is, yes it is, yes it is. But I get back.
And then I like Darko, man, that the Great White Buffalo record. I think that's like his De La shit to me. That's a very like De La album. And so, you know, we have ads on the show for it, but I think that's like his real breakthrough piece. And you hear ads for it. You know, we haven't had Darko on, but all of us have worked with him. Like, you know, you've seen it. He was on Vegas Vic, obviously doing the title cut beat. So Darko's that dude. So that album is the shit. And one album, it just occurred to me too when I heard Dan O's list was that King Mighty 2 shit with Mighty Healthy and King Mighty. That album is just like, I sat there and was like, this shit makes you just want to rap. So I didn't put it on my list, but Mighty Healthy is always showing us love. He remixes some joints on like Human Zoo. He always pops up on IG Live when I do one. So shouts to him. That's an album that
shout out.
Yeah, so like all 3 of them haven't been on our show, but they're like in the bullpen warming up. You know what I mean? So outside of, you know, Robert Hutton and Low Bearing Crow's Feet and everything else we've done this year, I feel like those are like that tier of people I want to shout out.
Hell yeah. And then I guess I got a couple honorable mention joints as well.
Cool.
And I don't even know which one to pick for this artist because he dropped a lot of stuff this year, but I really am loving Teller Banks.
Yeah, that's my guy right there, man.
So like I had the Throwaways EP, which I think is real dope. But just in general, he's been fucking killing it this year. My
shit from him is the one I just bought, the Part and Parcel joint. That shit is just really fire. Yeah. Yes, I like that joint a lot.
He's been killing it. And someone that we definitely want to talk to get on the show, Spectacular Diagnostics.
Fuck yeah,
that shit is great. And then 2 other like just quick ones. Kadeem from Boston.
Did he put anything out this year?
He put out an EP called Universium, which is really tight.
Dope. I gotta peep that. That's crazy. You said that, and he literally just popped up on my timeline 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, no, he's fucking always killing it every time he puts something out. And then this UK jazz group called Ruby Rushton. Ooh. They got an EP called Gideon's Way, which is really nice.
Fuck yeah. Oh, and my man, I really love the Rich Jones shit, the Blue Beach joint with Killer Kane.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-pack of joints. Yo, that shit, that's been like, I text Rich, I'll be like, yo, this is like I'm getting ready to go out, and I go out once a month, but that's like my get ready music to play. So I love that shit. Shouts to Rich. Rich is one of the coolest. Rich he's like my mother. Like my mother only calls me when I'm making or eating dinner.
Yeah.
And Rich, because he's in Chicago, he only calls me like when I'm in the process of giving my son a shower, getting him out of the shower or putting him to bed.
Yeah.
So he always gets me like the worst text. But shouts to Rich.
Word up.
I always feel bad. I'm always like, dude, I'm so sorry. This is the bad timing. But you don't have a kid, so fuck it. You don't care.
Yeah, no, why would you?
Oh, and last but not least, it just came out a couple weeks back, and we have the ad on the show, Wally Clark Goon. Him and that dude Flew from Australia.
Yeah,
it's
I gotta
like,
check this shit.
Yo, it's like Doom, like rhyming wise, Wally's on some like Doom meets Beatnut shit, but like more remorseful.
Okay.
So it's like really funny. It's got a lot of internal couplets and like the reckless shit, but then it's also like, here's the cost of being this type of person.
Nice. The artwork's amazing.
Yeah, it's a portrait one of his homies did. I mean,
nice.
So,
I read his interview with Dano. It was really dope.
Yeah, he's ill, man. We gotta get Wally back on. He did like one of our call-ins or roundtables. He was on one of the
roundtable joints.
Yeah. Oh, and last but not least, I didn't put it on my list. I had to make the cut, but like Midas the Beast, where the sidewalk ends. It technically dropped, I think, last year, but the vinyl came out with Chong this year, so I'm gonna cheat. But yeah, he's been on the show, but God, that album is just like another one where it makes you just want to rap. So I love that joint.
Yeah, let me throw one more out there.
Let's do it.
The Pink Seafood Fly Anakin Smoke Break album.
Bet.
I really like it. That shit's just like a total vibe that anytime I throw it on, I just fucking get caught up in it. It's just really dope.
Yeah, I gotta go back to that. I think it caught me at a weird time where I was just like, I love those guys separately. It didn't connect with me. But
yeah, it's just like two dudes having fun rapping over like real like cool production.
Nice. I need to get back to it. I just was like, it was like lost in it when it hit. I think I was just like wanting something different from it and not getting it. But now I could just chill and play it. There's a time of the year where I just like watch a shitload of movies and listen to music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a downtime.
Fuck yeah.
Previously on Great White Buffalo.
What's up, Duderino? It's me, Darko the Super, and you're listening to the Call Out Culture Podcast. This episode is sponsored by Great White Buffalo and select theaters and streaming on Bandcamp now. Darko the Super and Dean Freeman's Great White Buffalo from You Don't Deserve This Beautiful Art, the label that brought you Watered Down Demon Fuzz and Big Baby Gandhi's greatest hits. That's right, uddtba.bandcamp.com. The mad genius producer behind MF Grimm's The Hunt for the Gingerbread Man 2 and psychedelic hits from the Hellhole Store combines forces with Rumple Romeo himself, Dean Freeman, who brought the world classics like Buy My Baby a Car and Nookie in the Mail. Don't miss a Great White Buffalo listening experience, or you just might regret it for the rest of your life. Now let's get back to your regularly scheduled programming. Fish and grits and all that pimp shit from the Call Out Culture Podcast.
White Buffalo.
Yo, peace people. It's Prem Rock. Just wanted to hop on and tell you about my new album, Load Bearing Crow's Feet. Out now, everywhere on Backwoods Studios. Shouts to the Wrecking Crew, shouts to Call Out Culture. Shouts to Willie Green, shouts to Billy Woods at Backwoods Studios. Shouts to Shrapnel. Shouts to Brain Orchestra, Denmark Vesey, Messiah Music, Small Professor, Fresh Kills, Willie Green, myself, everyone that handled the beats, everyone that delivered the rhymes. AJ Suede, Henry Canyons, Castro, Zilla, Fielded and Lucid. And Marcus Pinn on the cuts. Dr. Quandary on the art. Pick it up wherever you pick up music. Thank you. Peace. The shortest story ever fraught with blues and no less true. Dignity for sale.
Wait a minute. Cut this shit.
Man, why don't you pump the shit up so you can fuck with my eardrums a little bit?
Alright, bet.
Hey, yo, this is Chub Zilla, one half of Sons of Andre, with the late Scorsese Lord Jones. Scorsese and I have a record together under the name Sons of Andre called Dungeon of Doom. It features some of my happiest production yet and some of Scorsese's best writing. It is available on limited edition cassette and CD, and at every digital outlet you get your music from, as well as insubordinaterecords.com. Dungeon of Doom features appearances by Alaska, Zilla Rocca, Poison Pen, and Alex Ludovico, stealing the goddamn show on this very beat. So you can go get Dungeon of Doom wherever you fuck with music at. Long live Scorsese.
So, all right, let's do the real ones.
All right.
All right. So my first one, let me go back to the list I sent you. The Tanya Morgan album, Yvonne and Don. So you've met Don Will a couple times, right?
Yeah. I know Don.
Yes, and I've met him a couple times, and we're made cool on Twitter. But again, like I don't know him like that. And what's your vibes been with Tanya Morgan and Legendary all these years? Because I feel like when they were ascending, like you guys were like slowing down because they were like the first like OK Player blog type of guys.
Yeah, I didn't really know them well back then. Like I remember like meeting them at Scribble Jam.
Oh, I bet.
And I was like, oh, they're cool. Like they're cool dudes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I didn't really like get to know them. Like our scenes were kind of different.
Right.
But you know, they always seemed cool.
Yes.
I always thought they made cool and fun music.
Yeah.
But I think I told you this. Like Cryptic and I were at Beer Wax.
Yeah.
Like we just happened to be hanging out.
Right.
And they did Don was there just doing like a listening party.
Bad.
And I was like, just listen to it. I was like, holy shit, this album fucking bangs. The production is killer all the way through.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's some of the best production of the year, easily.
Yeah. My thing with them was always like I really liked Legendary as an idea, like a Lucid and those dudes, and I loved Shay Grand and what was his name? Spec Boogie, who's now Rob Cave. And they did a show in Philly in like 2009 or 10, and it was one of the craziest fucking dopest shows I've ever seen in my life. And then I was like wanting to like them a lot.
Yeah.
And I would like catch little spots that I loved from them. Like Shea Grant had a couple projects I really loved, and like Von P had this one called like The Further Adventures of Von P. It was like his send off on Quasimodo, I believe. And then Don Will had this joint where the cover was like his take on High Fidelity.
Okay.
And then there was another one called like P's Gotta Have It, which it looked like a high school notebook, like you write like little drawings.
Yeah.
And they all came out within like a 2-3 year span, and then Elucid kind of became my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From that click when he did like Smash and Grab and some of those mixtapes, and then we all started working with him. I just felt like he was where I wanted to go next. And so I watched like Tanya Morgan. I like that Brooklyn Alley record, but I was just kind of like moving away from whatever they were doing and focusing more like on the Elucid wave. And then so I would always stay up on them, but I was like, I just don't get it. Like it's just not, I'm not in the right place to catch these records. And then when this one came out, I don't know why, I was like, yo, you know what? It's just both of them now. I think Von's like one of the most slept on, incredible rapper producer dudes, period. Yeah. And I think Don Will is like such an awesome, fun guy. Like the same way like Blockhead, you just feel like you have a good fucking time with, like Don Will's like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just give it a shot. And I played it and I was like texting everybody. I'm like, oh my God, this shit is banging. Like everything just like snapped into place for me where I was like, it's kind of like, I was thinking about like a sports analogy where like there's a young quarterback kind of comes onto a team and you don't really know who they are unless they kind of play over their head for a while. You're like, oh, and then like the team gets bad or something, or they get hurt and then you forget they exist. And then they pop up as like a 31-year-old on a backup, and then someone gets hurt and like they take that team to the playoffs. Yeah. And you're like, oh, there's that same dude when he was 23. We thought he was going to be, and he was for a little while, but now it's like, oh, now he really knows what the fuck he's doing at like 31, whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of it like that, where I just kind of cooled off on them, or like the projects weren't hitting me. But now I'm like, this is the one. Like this shit is banging.
It's real good grown man rap.
It really is, man. Yeah. It's just so funny and like, but they're rapping great. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, like, you know, we're just kind of bums hanging out. It's like they still want it, which I really like about the record.
Yeah, they're hungry.
They really are. So that's my first pick. What's your pick?
All right. So my first pick is AJ Suede's Avada Kedavra. Wow. I really like this record, man. I started listening to it like a couple weeks ago, and it just stayed in heavy rotation. I think the production is amazing. It's like, it's a good blend of like indie sound, but kind of like taking a minimalistic approach, but making it jazzy.
You know, very jazzy, yes.
Yeah, and I really like his rhyming style. It's like, I think I said it to you. It's like, it almost has like a Michael Christmas feel to it.
Yes.
Like stylistically.
Right.
You know, and I think I always thought Michael Christmas had a really cool style. It's like evolutionary doom almost.
True.
But I don't really like Michael Christmas that much. As much as I enjoy the style.
There were songs I liked from him early, and then I felt like, again, like nothing connected with me after the first couple, where I was like, oh, I want to pay attention to this kid.
Yeah.
And I just
it felt like he feels like he wants to be a comedian more than he wants to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Whereas AJ wants to be a rapper. Like you just know it like immediately. And it's like, I heard him on Prem's joint and I was just blown away by that shit. Like that Derek
stole the show.
Always kills me.
Stole the show.
Yeah. And then, you know, just when this came out, like I kept seeing it and I was like, I gotta listen to it. And I finally was just like, fucking listening. And it just stuck with me. It's really good. He's fucking super dope. Amazing lyrics. Do the whole shit. Great Fatboy Sharif appearance.
Fuck yeah.
Really good chemistry between those two dudes, and it's like the only guest on the album.
Oh yeah.
I recommend it. You know, I don't know if it'll be everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely my cup of tea. It's like the type of shit I want. It's like MC's MC type shit for me.
It's very rap heavy. And the weird thing was, like, I was peeping the Vada Kedavra, And
I just knew that, found that was out today.
Yeah, like I wasn't really fucking with that one only because I like the beat choices. I like going through his catalog. I mean, there's like a certain aesthetic and dynamic where I think he's like really in a beautiful sweet spot. And I think on like the Revada joint, like I feel like he didn't have enough of those. But the good news is this fucking guy has so much music. I'm like looking since 2017, like 10 projects. It's like you're not like, well, I mean, never gonna check him out again because the other one is insane. And then I was even really going back to the Darth Swader 3 joint.
Yeah, so you posted
that
about
one's
that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. So like for my personal thing, I like him on like brighter, sweeter type of sounds and samples than kind of like the ones where you're not really sure what tempo they are or what the source material is for whatever reason. But regardless, no matter what beats you like in your choices, he's nasty.
Yeah.
Like he fucking brings it. Like that's
he raps his ass off.
He's from a place of like he sounds like he has a dope ass rap dad. You know what I mean? Maybe his pops was like really into Ghostface or AZ or some shit. Because the things he says, I'm like, you can't be this young saying this shit just on a whim.
Yeah.
We'll have lines like that where I'm like, you have like the soul of like a 45-year-old rap guy, even though you're probably like 27 or some shit. And I think that to me, that's having like a dope ass rap dad. That's just my guess.
Yeah, that definitely, I definitely see that. And it's just like also the way he even puts his words together. Like, like a lot of newer rappers they're still really dope, but there's a particular style that is new.
Yes.
And his is rooted in older technique.
Exactly. And it's funny when I posted the Darth Swader 3 joint, I was cleaning dishes. He was like, oh man, you're going through my archives. I'm like, it came out in 2019.
Yeah, for real.
Shouts to Sway, man. I love that. I'm like, your archives. And I look back, I'm like, oh, he did drop fucking 7 projects in between right now in 2019. That's hilarious. All right, I'll go my next pick.
All right.
This one came out right at the beginning of the year, and I think I caught it because of the homie John Doe from Southern Vanguard Radio. Jay Cyanide and Kev Brown, Straight from the Pack.
Yeah, I was tempted to put that on my shit.
This joint, when the beginning of the year, like it's always ill to drop the beginning of the year because there's not a lot going on, right? So for me as a fan, I like to catch the shit I missed from the end of last year or whatever's out right now in that moment. And this is one of them joints where I was like, I was actually more, and I saw Jay Cyanide's name a bunch over the years, but I never checked him out. And I actually more so love Kev Brown rhyming on this album. Like I've never been a Kev Brown devotee with like Low Budget and Odyssey and like that whole like DMV lane from the early 2000s when they were all like hitting. And I remember he did like a whole thing with Busta that's never come out because Busta's a psychopath. But he's like how he is on the mic is like how Pete Rock thinks he is on the mic. You know what I mean? Where they both have like this ill voice in pocket, but Pete really, if you just wrote his words down, you're like, that's not that guy's pretty terrible, right? Whereas like Kev has that voice in pocket, but he's like so fly with it and confident and cool. And then the beats, like the way it's mixed, the mixing and mastering of this album really to me is what separates it. Because when you hear a lot of these people, we have like text threads, a lot of these people like they skip over that part to put shit out, right? And listen, mixing and mastering, it costs fucking money. It takes time. You hear the same song 5 different ways sometimes, maybe 15 different ways. I don't know. But this album is elevated because of the mixing and mastering. Like it has, they even showed videos of like how they were EQing vocals. Wow. So even after the album came out, Kev Brown was doing videos of like, here's how it sounded when I just did the vocals dry. Here's what it sounded like when we added shit to it, right? And he's not, in a room with, a giant 24-track mixing board, but just showing like, this is the steps these are the steps you need to take. So I think the album is just banging rhymes, beats. I mean, the loops are insane. The basses are great. The bass lines. They had the one song called Orange Julius Landover Mall. That shit is monstrous.
Wow.
It's just some cool, flying, credible shit, and it sounds great in the car, headphones, computer speakers, and that's a tribute to the mix and mastering. And then Jay Sinai like ran with it all year, like, and I like that
he raps so hard.
Yeah, like he didn't all of a sudden, oh, everyone's paying attention to me. Here's 15 projects. Yeah, it was like kept going back to this one, kept going back. Yeah. Vinyl, okay, tricolored vinyl, fat beats, okay, all this different shit. He did features and other things, but like kept funneling everything back to this one, which is brilliant. So there you go. That's why I picked it.
That's a great one. All right, so I'm going overseas right now. So a couple years back, I'd say probably like 2017, maybe. I got really into the UK jazz scene.
Oh yeah. I remember this.
And I mean, I did like, it was all I listened to for a while. And it was like, it started with like the Yusef Kamal album, which I think I learned about from Passion of Weiss.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that dog barking outside.
Whatever.
But yeah, their album called what was it called? It was called Black Focus.
Yes, great album.
That shit is amazing. I mean, I still don't know if there's been a better album since that album came out.
Great rap.
And that shit dropped in 2016.
Yeah, you put me onto that.
Yeah. So, you know, I basically like went down like the Bandcamp rabbit hole where it's like, art. If you like this artist, you'll like these artists. Right. And I found like 50 artists, and I was like, hella into it. And then I saw this documentary called We Out Here, a London story. And it's basically about that scene and how it started. And it was like, it started when this dude, I can't remember he was part of like the New Jazz Disciples, I think they were called.
Yeah.
He's an older dude, and they basically started teaching kids how to play jazz. And all of these kids that are now like, you know, in their early 20s to mid 20s grew up together and just played with each other and got better and better and better. And they created the scene. And when you watch the documentary, it's very reminiscent to me of like the late 90s, early 2000s indie hip hop scene, where it's just like kids found some shit they're passionate about, learned how to do it themselves, and created their own world. And so awesome. One of the people who I learned of in that scene was a saxophone player named Nubia Garcia. And she's nasty. Like, she's nasty the way that, what the fuck is the dude's name? He played with like Kendrick Lamar and shit.
With Thundercat?
Yeah, he played with Thundercat. I can't think of the fucking dude's name now.
Terrace Martin?
No, hold on. Let me look him up.
Who else was in that crew of people? The LA shit.
Yeah, but
Kamasi Washington?
Yeah, he's like she plays like Kamasi Washington.
Oof.
Right, like she gets like that same like feel in her horn where it's like
fire
coming out of like her soul. So she put out an album last year called Source, and she dropped a remix project for it this year.
Damn.
Which is just, it's amazing. It's just like pure vibe. It's like, you know, it's the type of thing you just like put on in the morning and your day is going to be awesome. Put it on at night when you're cooking, your meal's going to be awesome. And she's got, you know, the whole thing is like remixes, but it's still got like a whole bunch of playing on it. She's got like dudes like Moses Boyd, who's an amazing drummer. And she's got a killer remix by Georgia Ann Muldrow.
Oh yeah.
Which is just, it's banging. I can't recommend it enough. So that album's called Source, We Move.
That's a great name.
Yeah, it's like Source is like a weird symbol, We Move. But I really can't recommend it enough. She's actually playing Radio City Music Hall, I think, on my birthday. So I'm tempted to go and check it out.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So I highly recommend that. I just highly recommend that whole scene. I'll put a link to the documentary in the episode feed, and I'll also throw it in our Twitter feed as well, so you guys can check it.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Salt album 9.
Yeah,
like there's like a 2-3 song stretch on that album that I'm like, that could be the best album of the year.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're out of the UK too, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
so it's Homeboy. Yeah, it's Homeboy who's a part of that, produced like the Little Sims album.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. He's nasty. He's had his credits. I forget this. I gotta look it up. But the guy who's a producer with them has done like every massive cool thing in the last 10 years. He's on every album. That was incredible. Yeah, he's nasty with it. So yeah, I fuck with that Salt album a lot.
It's that time again. We're back. Career Crooks, me and Small Professor. New album, Never at Peace, available now worldwide, streaming on all platforms. Very, very, very limited pieces of merch left. You can scoop it at wreckingcrew.bandcamp.com. If you've heard the Live from the Liner Notes episode, you know what it is, you know what we're about. If you haven't, go back and peep it. Play the new record featuring Shrapnel, I Alive, and Donovan Days, Blueprint, DJ Manipulator, and that's all she wrote. New banger, me and Small Pro, Never at Peace, Career Crooks, available now.
What is up, Internet humans? This is Wally Clark. When I am not swimming the Panama Canal in Thames or teaching infants how to steal, I am listening to the Call Out Culture podcast with Zilla, Curly Castro, and Alaska. Make sure you check out my new record, Goon, fully produced by Flu and available on vinyl through Tough Kong Records. And remember, you are nothing, and I am everything.
Hey friends, it's me, your friendly neighborhood podcast host, Alaska. And I'm here to tell you about an exciting new project that I just released with my friend Jason Griff. You might know Jason Griff from his many appearances on the Call Out Culture podcast, as well as his groundbreaking work with the Griff Scorsese Midnight Express album. Also, his solo project, Fireside Chats. You need a sweater and a bearskin rug for that one, fellas. Anyway, we just dropped a new record called Human Zoo. And Human Zoo examines the cages that we put around society and the self-imposed cages we put around ourselves. It features exciting tracks like Reboot, featuring Fat Boy Sharif, and Animal Farm, featuring Love Ulysses. We also have additional vocals from the likes of Alex Ludovico. Not Ludovico, Ludovico with a C. See what I'm saying there, people? And Prem Rock. And then the All Hook All the Time track, featuring vocal stylings from Curly Castro, Zilla Rocca, Def C, Rob Sonic, Breezely Bruin, and Open Mike Eagle. If you like the rap music, folks, you're gonna want to get this record. It's a must-have for every true aficionado, and you could get it at insubordinaterecords.com. Alaska, out.
The Black Panther Party 10-point program, written October 15, 1966. We want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our black community. We believe that black people will not be free until we are able to determine our destiny. 2, we want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man employment and a guaranteed income. 3, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black community. We believe that this racist government has robbed us, and now we are demanding the overdue debt of 40 acres and 2 mules. 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. We believe that the white landlords will not give decent housing to our black community, then the housing and the land should be made into cooperatives so that our community, with government aid, can build and make decent housing for its people. 5, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present-day society. 6, we want all black men to be exempt from military service. We believe that black people should not be forced to fight in the military service to defend a racist government that does not protect us. 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and the murder of black people. We believe we can end police brutality in our black community by organizing black self-defense groups that are dedicated to defending our black community from racist police oppression and brutality. 8, we want freedom for all black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. We believe that all black people should be released from the many jails and prisons because they have not received a fair and impartial trial. 9, we want all black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in court by a jury of their peer group or people from their black communities as defined by the Constitution of the United States. We believe that the court should follow the United States Constitution so that black people will receive fair trials. 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. When, in the course of the human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which are connected them with another and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to this separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal, that are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Little Robert Hutton, Curly Castro, out on Backwoods Studios. Get it now.
All right, my last one. This is a bit controversial, and if Castro was on the call, he would laugh in my face or scream at me, and I think you might too. It's the DJ Muggs and Yellow Wolf album.
Okay, I never heard it, so I can't say. Sounds like an interesting combo.
Okay, so everyone, I need you guys to take a walk with me. So, Yellow Wolf.
Did you find this at Gathering of the Juggalos?
Yeah, it's called Mile Zero. Okay, so here's why I picked this album.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're all going to take a walk with Uncle Zilla Rock. So, Muggs is an interesting person because he's one of those people you don't really sit there and be like, wow, he's worth like $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like everything they did from like 90 to like 98, massive.
Yeah.
Right? Touring, singles, whatever. They still play like fucking jump around at basketball games and fucking rock star on like retro rock radio and all that crap.
Insane in the Brain is
insane.
everywhere.
I mean, massive, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about Muggs, historically, everyone's like, oh, he's one of the best. But he's never like in your face because he's never been like a media guy. So it's never like, oh, is he better than Pharrell? Is he better than Timbaland? Like no one talks about him like that.
Yeah.
But he's probably made almost just as much money in his career. He got a head start on those dudes, right?
Yeah. He's had a longer career.
He's had a way longer career. So so now in the last like 4 or 5 years when he's segued to just rock with all the indie dudes from like Crime Apple and Fahim and Makhami and Mayhem Loren and all that shit, Rock Marcy, he's then flipped the script and like put out his own vinyl and his own merch, doing that hustle, which is smart. However, when he does those records, they're all pretty much like that grimy, hazy, dangerous style of production, right? The Yellow Wolf album is really him being like, oh, I could sell records. Like, don't get it fucked up. And the production is like sunny and melodic and like different tempos. And like the guests on this album are really weird. There's like Del the Funky Homo Sapien and DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia on this album. Like it's really weird, but in a great way. So Yellow Wolf as a rapper is like, he's a fucking corny rapper. He's like, in terms of his writing is really cheesy.
He's talented though. He can rap.
But he's talented and he can rap, right? And he can channel like that Dose One, like Bone Thugs and Harmony shit, where he can be like kind of nasally, but like can hit all these crazy pockets. And then kind of do like the Bone Thugs thing where he can have some ill melody in what he does. But the actual bars are like, he thinks he's killing it, but it's like a Shady Records type of, you know what I mean? Like silly, dumbass punchlines that are unbearable at times, right? But he has like a musicality to him. That's to me always been his best asset. It's not the writing. Like he thinks because he grew up, listen to everything we did, like he's one of them real spitters and he's not. But he has like the flexibility in his style, and he's from like backwoods of fucking, I don't even know where he's from, Tennessee or some shit, or maybe Alabama. he has like that born in him. I keep saying the word musicality that most overwhelm, with the exception of Makami, like no one else Muggs worked with has this kind of musicality.
Yeah.
And so I think like it's easy money when Muggs just does, the 9 songs of like the plotting, spooky, grimy shit. And they sell $50 vinyl with like fucking tarot cards and like swords and guns and all that shit. But I think this one is like a real breakthrough from him at this point in his career, like being, 50 plus years old.
Okay.
And working with someone that they're nothing like Mayhem Loren. You know what I mean? Or I'm sure Ito, nothing like any of these people. And so the album is like, oddly enough, I was playing it back in like April when we were like on our family vacation at Disney World, and I'd be on the bus ride going back like from Animal Kingdom to the resort, and I was just like playing this shit, and I was like, this is crazy. It's so good. So it works for Disney World with the kids. Okay. If you're wondering, you slide that on, not for the kids or the wife, but for yourself. You can be on the bus, not talking to other tourists, banging out to this shit. So I highly recommend this out. I didn't see anyone talk about it at all.
I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, because the Yellow Wolf fan base, I don't know how. I mean, he was a big fucking deal for a couple of years. And the Muggs fan base like are very like what you said before about kind of like you guys like Adam's fam and like legendary Tanya Morgan OK player at the time, like they don't really correspond.
No.
So I think this one just kind of got just I don't think any serious DJ Muggs diehard dudes are like really excited to hear the Yellow Wolf record. Like
no.
But
and it's weird. He kind of like faded away because I think there's like sort of, and I hate Bill Simmons, but I think it's a great like theory that he came up with is like certain personality types there can only be one guy.
Yeah, you talk
like
about Ron Livingston, Paul Rudd. Right.
I feel like Machine Gun Kelly did that to Yellow Wolf.
Yes. Good call. Yeah, he kicked him right out of the frame.
Yeah. Yeah, you only want so many dudes with like neck tattoos around.
Yeah, like Scumlord, that whole like Pete Davidson, but I have fronts on too. Like that whole thing is it's a bit much to the stomach for white rapper guys. So so those are my 3. What's your last one?
Okay. So my last one is going to be it's the Young Morpheus and I Dress album.
Fuck yeah.
It's called Affable with Pointed Teeth.
Mm.
And I again, this is like a recent discovery because I finally finished up my semester and I've just been like going through shit that I wanted to check. And I'm a huge Young Morpheus fan. I think he's fucking amazing. He's like such a curmudgeon. I love him. Like he just like everybody, like he's like just reminds me of myself in the way like he just is like these motherfuckers. Like that's his whole shit is like these motherfuckers. But he also has that sort of like throwback, like, like these crackers are fucking with me type shit that I always love hearing. And then it's like the beats are like real sort of, I can't even like really like place them, but they're just like sort of like full vibe, but like they almost sound a lot of like the drumless production that you hear now where it's like just really great loops, but they threw fucking drums on it.
Hey, crazy idea.
Crazy, amazing idea.
Welcome to the small professor world of producing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's really lush. It's a really cool record. And Young Morpheus just kills the whole fucking thing. He's just
go
such
back
a
to
good
that
rapper.
joint. I like him a lot.
He's such a good rapper. And he's a great producer too, but it's cool hearing him on somebody else's production where he can just focus on rapping.
Nice. I gotta do that joint. I think you brought him up on one of our other year-end shows or best albums.
Yeah.
And I think that made me like run and check that record. So you are his
year too.
Yeah, you're like his personal publicist on the show for me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, I would love to get him on the show.
Yeah.
And I know like he runs with like Sifu and all those guys too. Like he's an LA cat, I believe.
Yeah, man.
But I think he's cool with Doof as well.
Doof's cool to everybody.
I know Doof is the coolest.
Doof fucking rules.
Yeah. Shout out to Doof.
Man. Yeah, man. So let's take our first break. We wrapped up part 1 of the doubleheader.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
We'll be back for a full-on Festivus celebration. So get your head ready.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's do it.
This concludes part 1 of our 2-part end of the year extravaganza here, Co-op Culture. So next week, come back, last episode of 2021, where Alaska and I will be going over all of the grievances and getting towards all of the grievances you tweeted at us. So until then, tune in the same call-out time for the same culty show sometime next week.